The whole alien agenda, like aliens are not aliens. They're Nephilim. Do you know the word Nephilim?
Heard of it.
Okay, Nephilim are the fallen angels in the Book of Enoch. You've heard of Book of Enoch?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fallen angels that came down and slept with the women, and then they bore children, which were the half-angel humans, and they were giants. Okay, they were the giants, the giantiles. Okay, and they took over the earth, and it's the reason why God flooded the earth and destroyed it.
Wow, because of them?
Because of them.
Jeez.
Goliath was a remnant of them. Okay, and like, by the way, Starbucks, the mermaid, God turned the women that slept with the angels, he closed their legs and made them into a fish, and he turned them into mermaids so that they couldn't continue to reproduce. How's a fish gonna have sex? Okay, but what did they put on the Starbucks logo?
A mermaid.
The two-tailed mermaid, because she's splitting her legs open again. That's what that is. It's total middle finger defiance.
Damn.
And the word star, again, synonymous with angel, and buck is synonymous with hybrid. It means like a goat man, or like Pan, or like the goat god thing. So like that, this is all like tethered to the stories of the Nephilim. Like when you understand the stories of the Nephilim, every story in every culture, in every movie, and everything you've ever watched will be like, click, 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 click.
Really?
You're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's what that is. You're like, what the heck? Like there was the human, they mated, the angels mated with humans and created giants. And then they mated with animals and created things like the Greek gods, like goat men, those satyrs and centaurs and minotaurs. Yeah. Those were not half goat, half man. It was half angel, half goat.
Wow.
These were creatures that were real. They actually existed. Okay. And there's tons of stuff about it, but we like bury it. And it's like in all our cultures and hidden on the structures and the drawings and the stories. And we're like, oh yeah, but it was make believe. These people just had good fantasies.
That is interesting. I don't hear many Christians talking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's real, but people don't understand that it's real because they think it goes against the Bible. No, fool, it's in your Bible. Like, bro, it's literally been taken out of your Bible.
Oh, of the main Bible?
Yeah, because it was in the Book of Enoch, and they didn't want the Book of Enoch in the Bible because they're like, oh, we don't know who the author is. Well, guess what? We found the Dead Sea Scrolls, and so for all those Christians listening, you all heard about the Dead Sea Scrolls. Guess what? The Book of Enoch was in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Interesting.
Boom. Look it up.
I mean, yeah, I've heard from Billy Carson the Bible was rewritten, right, over time.
So I would say not rewritten. I would say translated differently.
Okay.
That's what I would say. And so some of like what Billy Carson says is okay, but some of what he says is totally demonic. Like he totally is like channeling demons too, bro. But like Billy Carson's like, he's got some things that are cool, but like some of it, like, I don't know. The thing is, like, when you look into some of the stuff like that he's talking about, there's like a lot of distortion. But like all the stories stem from the Bible in our culture. Like all the stories stem from the Bible. And so throughout time, there's been things that have been taken out of the Bible, but I don't think there's things that are put into it. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's been things that have been mistranslated in the Bible, but if you just look back far enough, like you'll find what the truth is. And that was the significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Because when we found the Dead Sea Scrolls, they were able to go, oh, the Bible's been changed throughout time, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? We found the Dead Sea Scrolls and we compared it to the text and it wasn't changed. Wow. And that alone was a miracle. Like that alone was like, oh, well, I guess it's this translation was the correct translation because we found the Dead Sea Scrolls and it's written in that same tone. So like we knew when we found the Dead Sea Scrolls, we knew which biblical texts were correct and which ones were in there. And there was text that was in the Dead Sea Scrolls that we didn't even know about, that they took out. So they've taken stuff out. They haven't added stuff in, but they've definitely taken things out.
I wonder what they took out specifically.
Well, like the slave Bible. You heard of the slave Bible?
No.
Slave Bible, they took out like the whole story of Moses.
Really? Yeah.
Like they didn't want the slaves to recognize like Moses leaving, and they didn't want them to get the idea that they could like leave their captors. So they removed those portions of the Bible. Okay. And so like, but does that mean that those people couldn't know Jesus or know God just because the Bible verses have been taken out? No, that doesn't mean that. Like God's God. He's creator of everything.
Yeah.
Like he's still going to know them. Like anybody that's like, regardless of what's been removed from your biblical text, like it's still the word of God. And so God's still going to know you and you can still seek him out. If you're seeking him out, the truth, it says knock and the door will open. If you're seeking the truth, he says, you'll find it. He'll come to you. So it's not like just because the texts were removed doesn't mean that you're like missing the world's importance. Okay. Like, but yeah, there's absolutely been stuff taken out. Absolutely.
Yeah. You made a movie on this, right?
Yeah.
Ancient Angels.
Ancient Angels. Excuse me. Ancient Angels movie. If you go to ancientangels.com, you can check it out. literally, I talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls. I talk about the Book of Enoch. I talk about the validity of it. I talk about the Nephilim. I talk about who they are, what they are, and how they're tethered to the occult and to the elites and all this stuff. And I break this all down on that movie, and you can you'll get such a clear understanding of what has been removed from our Bibles. Because once you know the story about like Greek mythology, once you understand that it's real, it's like, dude, every other religion, you realize the connection. Like people think there's multiple religions in the world. There's not multiple religions. There is one religious perspective, and it all tethers to the Bible. Wow. All of it. Have you seen
the Greek gods tied to it?
All of it.
Wow.
Japanese culture, Hinduism ties to it. Bro, Hinduism, there's a god, Brahma. Okay. Brahma marries his father's. No. Brahma marries his daughter. He is the father of his daughter that he marries, Saraswati. Okay. In the Bible, there is Abraham, who marries Sarah. Swati means come. Okay. Sarah comes. So Brahma. It's the same thing.
Wow.
How do we miss this? But you got to understand, there's if you look up Japanese and Hebrew, have you seen the connection to the Japanese Hebrew text? Oh my gosh.
It's close.
It'll blow your mind.
Damn. It's like the same based on samurais and
samurai. That's actually doesn't mean anything in Japanese, but in Hebrew, samurai means warrior of God.
Really?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Bro, it doesn't even mean, and here's the other thing, the Tennoji or Tengu. Tengu, have you seen this thing? I have a video on my thing. Tengu. It's Tengu. It's that dude with the long nose. Okay. The dude with the long nose, the mask. You've seen the long nose with a red mask with a long nose. Okay, he's got a hyssop branch in his hand. He's got wings, and he's got a little black box on his forehead. Okay, he's called Tengu. He's the emoji that everybody's seen, this little demon emoji mask in your phone. It's been there forever. Yeah. Okay, it's not Tengu. It's 10. 10 means heavenly. It also refers to the 10 commandments. And gu, it's and who? What are the known for again? Oh yeah, the nose. Huh? Isn't that interesting? and then you look into the old stories. Do you know the Tengu taught them the way of the samurai? Huh? That's weird. And then Tengu not only taught them the way of the samurai, but Tengu brought them the Torah no Maki. No Maki means scroll of Torah. Torah no Maki. The scroll of the Torah was brought to the Japanese people by Tengu, 10 heavenly. Jeez. And he's wearing this little black box on his head. They call the Tolkien or the Teflon, which is wear this little black box. Have you seen that thing? They wear the little black box. It's like a little black box. They have like a little prayer box on their head. Anyways, and then the hyssop branch in his hand is the hyssop branch they use for Passover. And this is like the Japanese mythology stuff. Bro, it totally tethers. Dude, you've seen the Japanese people carry that little shrine, the little golden shrine? I
think I've seen that, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And they chant. It's called Makio is the chant. Mm-hmm. Okay. And Mikoshi shrine is what it's called, I believe. And so they carry this little shrine around. Dude, that shrine oftentimes has little birds on the top. And you're like, what do they got little birds on the top for? And you're like, that kind of, and it's golden. You're like, is that the Ark of the Covenant? Sure is. Why do you think they're carrying it like that?
That's crazy.
Bro, you know what their chant is? Their chant, Mikoshi, and their other chant, I forget the other one. It doesn't mean anything in Japanese. It means nothing. They chant a phrase that means nothing in Japanese. But in Hebrew, it means to bear up the presence of the Lord.
Interesting.
Something like that. I forget exactly what it is. But that's what it means. It means to bear up God's presence. And you're like, why are they chanting a phrase that means nothing in Japanese, but in Hebrew means this? Bro, why is every culture, everything points back to the Bible? Like every culture. The Indian Hindu culture, the gods, all of it. When you know like Ganesh, the elephant head, like you know the Bible stories that they removed, it says God turned the people that tried to build the Tower of Babel to be like elephants and like kippas or monkeys. And so like he turned them into elephants. You're like, wait a second. Like Ganesh is elephant headed, but you read the story, but like if you know the Bible story, it makes more cohesive sense because they're not like outlandish one-off stories. Okay, they all relate to one another. Like, dude, the story in Greek mythology, there's Hercules, right? Okay, then in the Bible, there's a character called Samson. You heard of him?
No,
you know
I haven't read the Bible.
Oh, okay, well, Samson is the strong man in the Bible. He's got really long hair, and he's like a strong man who literally does all these feats for the Lord. Okay, and the people wonder how strong he is. Dude, Samson lines up with the stories of Hercules almost to a T.
Wow.
Bro, you're like, he's literally, his first wife dies in a fire. Hercules' first wife dies in a fire. Samson and Hercules. Okay, Samson and Hercules, there's like he goes up, there's a story where Samson goes up, rips the gates off a city, climbs up a mountain, and throws them up a mountain. Hercules does the same thing, rips the gates off a city and climbs up a mountain. Destroys a whole army. Hercules destroys a whole army. Like, bro, when you see it, you're like, why is Greek mythology looking a lot like the Bible? And so like people like, Billy or whatever, they'll take these things and be like, oh, the Bible's wrong, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not. You're missing it, dude. Like, it's literally telling you that there's been distortion pulled from the Bible because the Bible's the only long line where every story from every culture it points to the biblical narrative. So you can look at it and you can go like, okay, either the Bible is just ripping off every culture or every other culture is ripping off the Bible story.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious when you know the full narrative because the Bible story is cohesive and it's all connected. Whereas the other stories, there's like, you'll find stories and cultures in like, the Philippines that don't relate to the stories over here in this culture, that don't relate to the stories over here in this culture. But like the biblical narrative relates to all of them. And you're like, okay, why is that one relating to all of them, but none of the others are relating to one another?
That is interesting. Yeah, Billy's big thing was there was multiple gods, right? Not just one god. That was his big thing he was known for saying. Well,
yeah, there was. Then those multiple gods were the fallen angels. They were the Nephilim.
Oh, so you actually agree with that?
Oh, to some extent, yeah. They were called the Elohims, the Els, okay? And it's like, and they were the gods. They claimed to be gods, right? But they weren't God, okay? They were fallen angels mating with humans, created giants. How do the Greek gods perceived? They're perceived as giants. Because that's what they were. Like that's what, and they claimed to be God, and they said that they were the Lord and worship us and blah, 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 blah. And they took over the whole region, and then God flooded the earth and destroyed them all. Why do you think all the temples are destroyed, bro? Like, why are all the temples of the old gods all destroyed?
Yeah, they're all gone, right?
Yeah, where are the Zeus worshipers? Where are the Zeus worshipers today? Where's the clan of Zeus worshipers? Oh yeah, they don't exist anymore. Why? Because they all got wiped out. God wiped them out multiple times, but once in the flood, it was prevalent. So there was animal-human hybrids that exist all over the world. God wiped them out in the flood to reset humanity and then refreshed it from Noah, okay? But yet still somehow the genome of the angelic DNA mixing persisted even after that, and you get people like Goliath, and you get Nephilim. There's Nephilim sequence genome DNA like prevalent in pretty much everybody today.
Oh, so it's still around.
It's still around. Like the elites all think that they're Nephilim children offspring. They're not, but whatever. I mean, like to some degree, maybe they are, but it's not, it's irrelevant. Like everybody is to some degree. Like there's all sickness, all disease, all wickedness in our blood. Your blood type determines how much Nephilimized blood you actually have.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Which blood type has the most Nephilim DNA?
So my theory on this would be like, I think it's O.
Okay.
O negative specifically would be like the most Nephilimized, but because it can mix with everybody else. And the angels were able to mix with everything. And so the AB, I think, is more human. And so this is like, and it's interesting because the Nephilim ate animals. If you have O blood type, you can actually process meat better.
Really?
Yes, but if you have AB, you're more of a plant processing thing. So like, there's all these people arguing about like diets, like what's the right diet to eat, whatever, blah blah blah. Dude, it really comes down to like blood. There's some lady, I forget who her name is, but she does some like blood science, and they were like determining like how blood types affect what you eat, and that's like probably because it has to do with how much Nephilim blood isolation you have in your body.
That makes a lot of sense because certain diets don't work on certain people.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm carnivore. Works for you. Well, guess what? You're probably O.
Yeah.
You're probably O. And oh, you're AB. Okay, you got to be vegan. Okay, that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.